Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to Planet Alien. So, I am going to be talking about Riverdale, just Riverdale in general. Some of the rumors that have been going around, some of the rumors that have been going around, some of the things that have been said, some of the things that have been confirmed. So, I am here to tell you because I want to talk about Riverdale. So, if you want to hear me talk about Riverdale, which if you do, you're a heck of a person, let me just tell you that. Then sit back, relax, get your breakfast like I do, my coffee, black, like my soul. Just kidding, I need like a ton of cream and sugar. I was just meaning, Yeah, okay, okay. Anyhow, okay, let's get into this. So, I talked about, I believe it was my last video where I did Riverdale spoilers, and I talked about how apparently Hermione or Hiram or both of them betray Veronica in some way that would make her not want to vote for her mom as mayor. And a lot of people were commenting on that, saying, well, they're only like 16, 17, so how are they able to vote? It's Riverdale. I mean, come on. I think that explains it all. It's Riverdale. It's just like Reggie and stuff, like him saying him and his dad are for the prison. Clearly, they're going to vote for Hermione if they're for the prison. So I do think even though they're 16, 17, I still think they have the ability and the right to vote because this is Riverdale, and of course, why wouldn't they have the kids vote? Because I mean, you got one parent and another parent of these two separate characters. So I mean, I feel like they do have the right to vote, even though they're not of age. Because why would the interviewer like talk to her and Cammy say, well, it might not be that easy, she might not go for her mom as mayor. So clearly she can vote. I mean, yeah, you're supposed to be at least 18, but in Riverdale, I guess you don't have to be. And I'm guessing they can vote because unless, that was just trying to tell you, like, clearly something's about to happen with the lodges that makes Veronica maybe not want to be a part of the lodge family business and a part of anything they're doing because they betray her. So I just wanted to get that out there. Okay, so another spoiler is okay, in my last video I was talking about how the Black Hood is back. Now I talked about how I didn't want to get too much into it. I know there's a lot more spoilers of the musical, but I am not watching any of it. I am not reading any of it. I am waiting till April 19th to watch it. I am not watching it ahead of time, especially since it's recorded with a phone. It's like I want to watch it on my TV screen. I want to just watch it when it comes out. I don't want to be spoiled. This was the only little spoiler I got, but I didn't know who died. I was kind of hoping like maybe someone was like hanging and the writing was actually blood and not red paint. I said this in my last video. I was like, maybe it's blood. Maybe the Black Hood killed someone and they're hanging and the writing's their blood. But then I was like, it could be red paint. But it would be more awesome if it was a person. And spoiler, if you do not want to know who dies, you might want to just skip like a little bit. I don't know, or maybe just stop the video. Sorry. I was already spoiled. I didn't want to know who died, but I was spoiled. That's alright though, because that's alright, I guess. I don't know. That was hard. I was spoiled because now I know who dies. Which, I mean, isn't a big deal, but at the same time, I would have liked to have been surprised by who died, but I do know someone dies, because I was thinking, like, because, I mean, I just think it would be so cool if the red was blood and there was someone hanging. Like, just imagine. Apparently, it happens at the end when Alice Cooper performs. That's apparently what happens is, I don't know if they lift the curtain or what happens, but next thing I know, she's doing her performance. I guess maybe the curtain does get lifted up or something happens, and next thing you know, there is Midge dead, and her blood is in writing from the Black Hood. Because apparently it is Midge that gets killed. Which, I mean, okay, I feel bad for her. Like, she's not a character you really like, oh my god, no, like, but she is still a character I liked, and she was so innocent and nice, and I do feel bad for her. I mean, but I understand why her, because she's not like a main character, and Midge, people do know her, so it'll have an effect. I mean, she didn't do anything to anybody, and oh wow, she was one of the Black Hood's victims, her and Moose, but she survived, thank God for Moose, because he like shielded her. So wow, that's even more interesting that of all people he chose Midge. Is it because she lived through it? Like, because I know Moose did, but at least he was hurt, whereas she was not. Maybe that was his way of coming back and saying, I'm still here and I'm still going after you sinners, you know? But I can't really read the writing because it had it like blocked. And then by the time they took the block away, the writing was gone. So I don't know what the writing said exactly. I just know that it said like the Black Hood is back. And like maybe I think people are going to have to pay for their sins or something along those lines. You know, the Black Hood. But apparently during this musical, if it isn't already crazy enough, because as we know, it's Carrie the musical. I mean, crazy shit happens. Um, if it isn't crazy enough, we have this death, like I talked about in my last video, and I mean, like I said, I do feel bad for Midge, but what the hell? Way to go, writers! Like, perfect way for the Black Hood to come back. Because when I saw the writing, I was thinking, oh my god. Like, I know this is bad to think, but it's a show. I mean, you kind of want to have stuff like this happen. At least I do. I was thinking once I saw the writing, I was like, oh my god, because I was like, oh, this is definitely the Black Hood, you know? But I was like, oh my god, maybe he like killed someone and they're hanging, and then people, and the writing is in blood, and people see it and they're like, oh my god. And that's most likely what happens. I don't know if she's hanging per se, but clearly she's somewhere where they can tell that it's Midge who's dead, and that's her blood in writing. So I'm guessing she's hanging, because that would make a lot of sense to have. Oh my god, I could just imagine Alice performing, and then all of a sudden, like, the curtain or something comes down, or whatever comes down that he wrote on, and Midge comes down hanging from the rafters, and there's her blood. Oh my god, that is gonna be so sick. I know, like, that's, like, I love the Black Hood. I really love his story. Like, I think the Black Hood was the best storyline of this season so far. And another thing I want to say about the Black Hood, we all know how Archie has kind of become this, not kind of, he has become this lapdog to Hiram. He's become this totally different person. And it got me thinking, because I don't think it's just them manipulating him. I think it's a lot more than that. I think it's the whole Black Hood thing. I think ever since the Black Hood thing happened with his dad, it's warped his mind and it's made him start thinking that stuff like this, like the prison, is going to help prevent the Black Hood from doing any more harm or anything. Like, I feel like the Black Hood kind of warped uh Archie's mind, like when his dad got shot, and I mean that kind of overtook him for a while. And I think that's why he sees Hiram as this powerful person. He sees Hiram as trying to make a difference in Riverdale, my ass, by having a prison. I don't know how that helps, but okay. I don't know how that helps, but okay. But so yeah, I want to talk about Archie because it's like I feel like he is making these decisions himself. He is. I mean, at certain times he doesn't want to do it, but then, you know, of course, Hiram talks him into it or says, you know, you made a pact, you can't get out of it. And also, you know, he tries to make deals for his dad, like get out of the contract, and he'll cut the chains off Jughead, which was. So he does make his own choices in certain cases, and I do think he kind of, in a way, looks up to Hiram because he's so powerful and he has this, I don't know, he just is so powerful and has these connections and is just, I don't know, he in Archie's mind, I think he thinks Hiram is what's right for Riverdale in a sense, you know, or Hermione because she's running for mayor. But I just feel like it's a little bit of him getting manipulated by Hiram mostly, while also having his mind warped ever since the Black Hood shot his dad. The Black Hood, as far as we know, Hiram. Just saying. I'm just saying, like, Hiram shot his dad. Well, not Hiram himself. Hiram hired someone, tall boy, I'm guessing, to shoot his dad. Because I just, okay, I'm not even gonna get into it because I get into it every time. But it's like I just feel it. Like, but I'm probably gonna be wrong. But that's okay. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because, you know, I love Archie, but right now I'm really disliking him. I'm honestly like his mom. I'm like, who the hell are you? Like, you used to worship your dad. You used to love music. You were inseparable with Betty and Jughead. And it's true. He couldn't deny it. His face didn't deny any of it. And when she said, who are you? His face was just like blank because I don't honestly think he even knows who he is anymore. Because I think ever since the Black Hood thing happened, it's really warped his mind. And then meeting someone like Hiram and having this person kind of whisper in your ear and kind of charm his way into your head, I guess you could say, is going to have an effect on him. So I was thinking about that, and I was just thinking about how it's not so much Archie making these decisions himself or Hiram manipulating him. It's also that ever since the Black Hood shot his dad, it's really warped his mind, and I think that's why the prison is such an ideal thing for him, is because of the Black Hood. You know, like he said, he regretted not shooting the Black Hood, but then he knows that that also isn't the real Black Hood, which we will find out. Apparently, there are three suspects. Now, I was also thinking about this, and I was thinking about Hal and Sheriff Keller and why they would be, I guess you could say, well, I was thinking of like, okay, I was thinking of Sheriff Keller, and it kind of would make sense if he was the Black Hood. Like, it would kind of make sense, you know? He did shoot the Black Hood, you know, the janitor who's not really the Black Hood, but, you know, shot him. I'm not saying, I know, like, he shot him because he was trying to jump and stuff, but it's like, he could have also shot him to keep him quiet. But also, I feel like this janitor has to have a connection to the Black Hood. This janitor has to know someone and have a connection to the Black Hood. And we also got to remember that the Sugar Man, the teacher that was arrested, got killed in his cell in the jail when there's cops, I'm sure, all around, and yet no one saw anybody go in and out suspicious. No one heard anything. So that also leads you to believe, what if it is Sheriff Keller? He has easy access, you know? And also you could think, oh, well, that's, you could just look at it like that. Maybe it's another cop we don't know of. Maybe it is. But Sheriff Keller would have the upper hand. I mean, he could easily erase the tapes if there was anything recording in there. He could easily get in and out without anybody knowing. He could easily send people home and then kill the guy. It's not hard. I mean, how this Black Hood got into a police station with a bunch of police is beyond me. So that leads me to believe maybe Sheriff Keller is the Black Hood. I mean, and he would know the janitor maybe because his son does go to that school. But I just feel like the janitor has a connection to the Black Hood in some way. Because I feel like, why would he do this? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And why would he want to have Archie buried alive? And then his whole backstory of how the Reaper killed his family and he was the only one to get away. Like, I still think about that because it still just intrigues me how he got away. Like, I know maybe it's just old news and it's just like, no, he just survived. That's it. But for me, I look at, like, I watch a lot of ID shows, so I look at it like, did he help this? Did he let this person in and let him kill the family and he got to live? Did this person just let him live? Did he actually get away? You know, it's so many questions in my head ever since this janitor took the Black Hood's place in a way and made it look like he was the Black Hood when he's not. Like, why would you die making people believe you're the Black Hood if you're really not? You know, clearly it's someone who knows he had, but we don't know because we don't know any connections to the janitor. We didn't know about the janitor until like a few episodes before it was revealed that he was the Black Hood. But so Sheriff Keller, because I was thinking of him and I was thinking, you know, first he's having an affair with Mayor McCoy. That's a big sin right there, and yet nothing happened to him. His son's gay and he's out roaming for guys. That's a big sin right there, and yet nothing happened. Um, I mean, but the thing I wouldn't get is, why shoot Fred? Like, why would you shoot Fred? Like, I mean, and why would all of a sudden he just suddenly care about all these sins? Like, what happened to make him just suddenly become this way? Like, I don't know if I really believe Sheriff Keller is the Black Hood. I mean, it is a big possibility. He definitely is one of my suspects, along with Hal, which I'll get into. But I mean, I don't know, because, you know, it could all just be coincidences. And I mean, I don't know why he would suddenly be after people for their sins. You know, maybe he thought he wasn't doing enough as a police officer, as a sheriff, that he decided to end these people's lives who were sinning. I don't know what his reasoning would be. I know he became obsessed with the Black Hood and finding out who it was or who it is. So there's always that. But then again, you know, ever since they shot the Black Hood, no one's really second guessed it except for the kids, which is interesting because, you know, Sheriff Keller being a sheriff, you think he'd look a little more into it. But I guess they all just assumed, well, he's the Black Hood because he's dressed in the Black Hood stuff. So good to go. But it's way more than that. So Sheriff Keller is a possibility. I don't know, because I could see him being the Black Hood, And I mean, I could just imagine Kevin. And then Kevin's mom coming back into the picture because, of course, someone needs to take care of Kevin. But then again, I feel like, would they do that to Kevin, lose his dad that way? But a lot of things do point to Sheriff Keller, and a lot of things don't point to him. And it's always when I look in the mask that I think it looks like Sheriff Keller, but it really doesn't. It looks someone older. It looks like someone we haven't seen because the eyes, we would know who it was right away, but it doesn't look like someone we really know. To me, it looks the closest person it looks like is Tall Boy. That's the closest person it looks like to me. Well, at least the person who shot Fred, because that was like basically the same clothes as Tall Boy wore. Like I'm telling you, he had to have been hired by Hiram to shoot Fred. But anyways, Hal's another suspect. If you think about it, Hal comes from a fucked up family. He's cousins or whatever related to the Blossoms. And we all know that they're fucking psycho. Besides Cheryl, I love you, Cheryl. Nothing wrong with her. She's a bitch, but hell, who cares? She's a bitch who deserves to be loved and who is actually caring. It's just she hides it. But we know that the Blossoms are, whoo, yeah. So maybe the mental illness that Betty had. Oh, well, actually, no, because Chick also has a darkness in him, and he's not Hal's son. I just realized that. So maybe that's what I was going to say is maybe the darkness that Betty has comes from Hal's side of the family, and maybe that's why Hal knows about her darkness, which actually he would already know because, I mean, it's pretty obvious when, I mean, she's talking about literally digging her nails into her skin until like it bleeds, and yet her mom and dad are just kind of like, so pancakes. So I mean, her dad does already kind of know about her darkness, and he would know about her and her Nancy Drew books and all that stuff. So I mean, it could be Hal for all we know. We don't really see him, which is also another thing. We don't really see him that much. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if he did send Betty that. I mean, actually, that's true. Of all people who could get that newspaper clipping, wouldn't it be Hal since he owns a newspaper? I mean, yeah, Alice got rid of all these, but apparently not. And Hal would easily have access to getting this. And I mean, we all know him and Alice aren't on great terms. So who's to say he didn't send this to Betty so that it could embarrass her mom and so that it could make people look at her in a different way and Hal could be the one who's in charge of the newspaper. I don't know. There's just a lot of little things that you could say make it look like Hal's maybe the Black Hood or Sheriff Keller. But then again, it's like I don't know. Like I don't. I mean, I could see. I don't know. I'm not gonna rule it out. I could see Hal because I could just imagine if it is Hal and he reveals himself to Betty. Oh my god. But then again, I feel like there's a mastermind and then there's the Black Hood. Because clearly someone had a connection to this janitor enough to where the janitor died, letting people think he was the Black Hood. So clearly there's the mastermind and then there's the Black Hood. Because I don't know, unless I just don't see what other reason this janitor would have for pretending to be the Black Hood. It's just very kind of odd to me. So I wanted to say that. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, so because we also a lot of things I've been hearing about the season finale is that of course Bughead fans are going to be happy. Um Apparently Archie and Veronica break up, not in the season finale, but before that. Um Apparently at the end in the season finale, Betty runs away with Jughead and Archie goes after her, but then I've also heard that maybe the Black Hood in the season finale takes Betty, which I honestly wish and hope and think we'll see that more. At least I hope so, because like I said, wait, did I say this? Oh, I said this in one of my little Twitter videos. Betty and the Black Hood have this odd connection. He kind of has like this obsession with her, and she's kind of like his rival because I mean she was always like kind of one step ahead of him. She figured out the Sugar Man. She what else did she do? She figured out the Sugar Man. Uh I can't remember what else she did. Wait, let me think. Hold on. Yeah, she figured out the Sugar Man. She filled it. She found out who killed Jason Blossom. And she's kind of always been a little bit one step ahead of him in some way. Like with Nick St. Clair, she told the cops even though he didn't want her to, which he already knew about, which is another clue to maybe it's Sheriff Keller. Hello, because he knew that she called the cops. Or maybe he's just around watching, who knows? Like, it is very interesting. Maybe it is Sheriff Keller. A lot of things point to him, but I don't know. Because I feel like there's a mastermind and I feel like there's a Black Hood. It's just very confusing, but I want to figure it out before we find out because I want to know. Because last season I was torn between like Clifford and Hal as being Jason's killer, or Clifford and someone else. And it's like, if I would have just said Clifford, I would have got it right. And it's like, this time I want to know who the Black Hood is before the Black Hood is revealed. But if the Black Hood does take Betty, if that does actually happen, I could totally see that. And him revealing himself to her and her, like, I could just imagine her face because this Black Hood person says she knows him. So clearly, once she sees the face, she's going to recognize it. And could you imagine if it is her dad or Sheriff Keller? Oh my God, I honestly could see Sheriff Keller. That I could honestly see. Like her dad, yeah, I could see. He's been gone a lot. You don't really know what he's doing. Well, Penelope, he was doing her. But yeah, Sheriff Keller. Oh my God, I could just totally see it. It always makes me think of when Spencer was taken and she woke up and then saw that she has a twin who turns out to be A. That's what I think of with this scene. It's like Betty's locked in this room and maybe the Black Hood is talking over the speaker into the room to her because it's an abandoned building or something, an abandoned hospital or something along those lines, or maybe he set up a room and I could see him talking to her, and then she of course being the fighter she is and doesn't give a shit, she talks right back, and it's like, what the fuck do you want? Something like that. And then he comes in, and he things are said, and eventually he reveals himself, and leaving her jaw dropped. But at the same time, she still needs to get out of there and also wants to know why the hell you are the Black Hood and why have you been doing this. Like, I want to see who the Black Hood is so bad. But I could totally see that being the ending. Because Betty and Jughead running away, it's like, where are they going to run away to? I mean, really, that would, and really, Betty's going to run away. Like, Chick left the house, or he got kicked out. So there's no reason she should really leave. I know she loves Jughead. That's another thing I want to say. I know she loves Jughead. I really do. I know she does. But you have to remember that she also, in a way, loved Archie. She really, really liked him. That was clear from the first episode of season one. And unfortunately, at the time, he didn't think he was good enough for her. And so he, of course, letting her down, but also hurting him in the process and hurting her. And yeah, you can say she's accepted that it's never going to happen and moved on. But I don't think her feelings for Archie were really strong. I mean, even Kevin knew. So I don't think those kind of feelings can just disappear like that, no matter how much you're in love with someone else. You're always going to have that feeling for that one person you never got to be with, but you wanted to be with. Not to mention they kissed. Yes, it was an intense moment. Yes, things were happening. They were going after a Black Hood. But that doesn't always mean that kissing is going to happen. If it was Jughead and Veronica, they wouldn't have kissed. So you got to look at it like the kids might have been a little something more. And I want to read something Roberto said. And I believe this was a while ago, but it's so true. Betty always wanted Archie. It's not so easy to just move on just like that. The feeling may, in fact, be mutual. Archie's wiser now and wondering if he let a good thing go. He's with Veronica, but the heart wants what it wants. So it's not so easy to move on just like that. See, even Roberto said Betty, it's not that easy for her to move on from her feelings from Archie. And Archie clearly feeling like he is good enough for her later on in the season is now wishing, maybe he would have said something different that night. Maybe he would have said he cared about her and liked her back, and maybe they would have went down a different path than being with Jughead and being with Veronica. Even though they are happy and in love, I think there's always going to be a part of them inside that wonder what it would be like if it was them two together, and what would have happened if that night after the dance he would have said I like you back and they would have got together. I think that's always a question in their mind. And like I said, I know she loves Jughead, but that doesn't mean her feelings for Archie just disappear like that. I think they're buried deep inside. I think that when he turned her down, she accepted that and just kind of really buried it deep inside and just tried to be his best friend because she didn't want to lose him as a best friend. And so I think those feelings are still there, and eventually they will get through the cracks. I'm not saying it's going to happen super soon. I don't see it happening till like season 3, but I do think it is going to happen. Now with the triangle, we've been led to believe that the triangle starts in episode 19. Now, if Archie breaks up with Veronica, and let's just say Betty and Jughead do leave and Archie goes after her, then maybe the triangle is going to be Archie, Betty, and Jughead instead of Archie, Veronica, and Betty. Because we've all been thinking it's going to be Archie, Veronica, and Betty, but maybe it's actually going to be Betty, Jughead, and Archie. Maybe after episode 18, the musical, maybe he realizes the kiss meant something. Maybe he just realizes that he can't be with Veronica if he has feelings for Betty as well, and he wants to give it a try. Because if he doesn't, he's just going to keep thinking about it. But at the same time, it could do with anything. Maybe it's the family issues they're having because her mom and his dad are going against each other. Maybe he's finally woken up from this Hiram uh fucking trance. I don't know, but if they do break up, then perhaps the triangle is Archie, Betty, and Jughead, and that goes into season 3, and you kind of have maybe instead of Archie choosing, maybe it's Betty who's stuck in the middle. And I honestly think she would choose Archie, but I think so. I don't know if maybe the triangle is going to be Archie, Betty, and Jughead. If it is, then I think it's going to go into season 3, and then season 3 is going to kind of be it's going to be a lot of things, but it's going to have the triangle happening and kind of have the back and forth and the figuring things out. And then I think as it gets closer to the end of season 3, perhaps whoever has a choice to make chooses their person, whether it be Betty choosing Archie or choosing Jughead or Archie choosing Betty. It does whichever it may be. I think will happen by the end of season 3. So that's what I think about that because it's very confusing a lot of things we've heard because we hear about the triangle starting episode 19, but then you hear Veronica and Archie breaking up, like Archie breaking up with Veronica, and it's kind of like, well, okay, and then you hear that Bughead fans are going to be happy in the season finale, but sometimes things can be misleading because we've been told many times that we're going to be happy with an episode and we're actually really disappointed half the time. So I don't know, but then again, Bughead fans seem to kind of get a little better treatment. I'm not trying to be like, I don't know, I'm not trying to offend anybody, I guess. I'm just saying the truth. They get a little better treatment. They do, let's be honest. We all know it. Barchie fans are second and then Barchie's like last. But so there's all that. Oh, okay. I also heard a rumor that we will be getting to see Tony's serpent tattoo, hinting towards maybe choni sex, apparently, because I guess where her tattoo is somewhere you can't see it unless maybe she's naked. I don't know. But apparently, we get to see Tony's serpent tattoo before the season ends, leading people to think that Cheryl and Tony are going to be hooking up, which would not be a surprise since they are basically together now, and I'm so happy. Like, they make me so happy. Like right now, they're the only thing really making me happy besides the Black Hood storyline. Like I'm so psyched for the Black Hood storyline. Like oh my god, I can't wait. But yeah, um, okay, sorry. Um, all I do hope this is that Betty and Archie talk about the kiss because I think if they don't talk about the kiss, that's a missed opportunity. I'm not saying they have to talk about the kiss and be like, oh yeah, I love you too, let's get together. No, I'm just saying it's like this kiss happened and yet we've heard everyone else, well, not Kevin, who I wanted, of all people I wanted to find out would be Kevin, because he would be like, oh my god, this just got, wait, what does he usually say? Oh, oh my god, this just got riveting. Like, I love when he says that shit. Like, boy, you are me. No. But yeah, we haven't seen his reaction. But Archie and Betty are the ones who kissed, so therefore they should be the ones to talk about the kiss with each other instead of Veronica knowing, Jughead knowing, all that. Jughead knows because of Cheryl, and Veronica knows because Archie had to tell her because at the time he was working with the FBI agent, so therefore he had to tell her because she knew something was up and he couldn't exactly say the FBI, so that's why he told her that. But yeah, I really hope the writers do have Archie and Betty talk about the kiss because I don't. I mean, if you don't. I mean, if first off, if they waited till season 3, that would just be totally bizarre to me. Like, really? I understand the Black Hood's back, but really? Really? Like, come on. So I really do hope Betty and Archie at least talk about the kiss before the season ends. I mean, because everyone else is just noise. I want to hear from the two people who actually who locked lips, and I want to hear from them. I want to hear them say they regret it or that it means nothing instead of them saying it means nothing to everyone else and not saying they regretted it because clearly they didn't. I mean, you would think that if it just happened in the moment and it meant nothing, they'd be like, trust me, I regret it. You know, we were just in this intense situation. But no, that's not been said. No, no, no. They're sorry that it happened, but they're not really regretful. So that kind of tells you something. So I really hope we get an Archie and Betty talk about the kiss before the season ends. Like, I really do hope so. Um, yeah, so I just really want to talk about all this because I've been hearing a lot of things and I want to talk about it and kind of give you guys what I've been hearing and get you excited for the Black Hood coming back. Like, what the hell? What a way to come back. Like, oh, so awesome. Like, I love the Black Hood storyline. And to have it come back in that way, where, like, I don't know if she's hanging, but I'm hoping she is, where Midge is, like, hanging or something. Oh my god, what if she's hanging and she's, like, cut open? And like all her guts are out, and you know that's how he got. Oh my god, I'm getting a little too in there, but you know what? I'm like so excited. I love the Black Hood storyline, and I'm so excited to find out who the Black Hood is. Like, there's three suspects they have, and right now mine are Sheriff Keller and Hal. Um, I don't know, I don't know who else it could be, but I mean, the Fred shooting, Hiram. I think it was Hiram with the Fred shooting. Hiring Tallboy or someone and possibly the Miss Grundy situation. Maybe that was the Black Hood. It's just so freaking. Riverdale confuses me, but intrigues me, but gets me going. I have so many theories, and it's like one theory is like maybe this is all in Betty's head, but that's not possible because I mean Fred was actually shot, but she has like this darkness. It's just very interesting too about Betty because we see her keep the Black Hood, and it's kind of like why, because we know she has this darkness in her, but it's just so interesting. And I'll never forget when she put on that black hood and turned around and looked in the mirror when the Black Hood told her to go to this house. I mean, I got chills every time I see that because it was like, whew, wow, it's like so intense. Like, because we all know Betty has this darkness in her, and to see her in the Black Hood, it almost felt, I hate to say it, but right in a way. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. It felt right. Like, it felt like she was the Black Hood in a way, like she was meant to wear it. I don't know, it's just so interesting. Like, I cannot wait to see what happens next with the Black Hood. I just can't believe what a way to go. Perfect timing too, because Carrie the Musical's already crazy enough with fake blood. So, I mean, just imagine seeing this. I mean, Midge hanging or Midge dead, whatever it may be, and then her blood written out and Black Hood saying, I'm back, It'd be cool, like, if people at first thought it was like a joke, like someone just wrote, but then it's like, nope, not a joke. It's actually real, But yeah, because it is real. Because I did see the scene, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" and they're screaming, and Jughead's filming it, and people go crazy. Oh my god, I'm so excited! I can't wait for the Black Hood to return. So that is all I really wanted to touch on. Sorry this was so long, but there was a lot to talk about. I have a lot of things going on my head with Riverdale. It just gets me thinking and so many theories. And I also want to say about Archie and Betty and the feelings and how I do see that she loves Jughead. I do see it, trust me. I'm not discounting Bughead. I'm not saying they're breaking up anytime soon. I just am saying that her feelings for Archie are still there. They're just buried very deep down inside, but they are still there. And I think that night when the kiss happened, they came out. And I think that's why she was so surprised, and him too, of course. So I just want to say that because I know she loves Jughead, but at the same time, you gotta realize she really, I mean, she never said love, but she loves Archie to begin with. That's her best friend. But she really liked him. And I mean, I've had crushes like that. Like, not like best friend crushes, but like I've had crushes on guys and stuff. And I know how hard it can be, like, to just accept that they don't want to be with you and kind of just ignore those feelings. You kind of just want to push them down and stuff. So that's what I see with Betty. So, I mean, season 3, I see a triangle taking place. And if Archie does break up with Veronica, it still could mean Archie, Veronica, and Betty are the triangle. But right now, I'm kind of leaning towards Betty, Archie, and Jughead as being the triangle that goes into season 3. And possibly by end of season 3, the triangle is resolved. Because I don't know if the writers are going to really drag it out as much as they can, or if it's just going to be a whole season and then resolved. I'm kind of hoping that, because then you want to move on. But then again, of course, with a lot of shows, they have couples that are endgame or couples that are meant to be together get together later in the season, like season 5 or 6. So I don't know. Like I'm hoping season 3 kind of starts, end of season 2 into season 3 starts that engine for the triangle and starts Archie and Betty on their journey to something more than best friends and hopefully talking about what they feel like. And I wrote this whole thing like if Betty was leaving with Jughead, Archie tried to stop her and stuff. Like, I just think that would be so amazing. But then again, I see more of the Black Hood taking Betty because we all heard about this locked room and we all thought maybe it's Archie and Betty locked in this room or Veronica and Betty. But maybe it is actually just, in fact, Betty locked in this room from the Black Hood and Archie, Veronica, and Jughead have to go save her. And that's how season 2 ends with the reveal of the Black Hood and him being arrested or killed, whichever one, but most likely arrested. I just feel like Sheriff Keller would be like the biggest reveal of all, but then so would Hal. But Sheriff Keller, especially, I don't know. I could just see Sheriff Keller revealing himself to Betty. Oh my God, like I could just see him being arrested and just smiling like he don't even care. Like, I don't know. Like it's just, I have these thoughts. But so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry this was so long again, but I just really want to get this all off my chest, all the things I've heard. Maybe you've heard them too. I'm sure you have. But I just want to give my thoughts on it, and of course the Black Hood thing because I'm so excited. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be back again. No, all right, bye.